Dog with sad past wouldn't look anyone in the eye until someone finally showed her love. When fear's the only feeling you get since you're born, it's difficult to understand what love and being safe mean. This beautiful pit bull experienced only pain since she was born. She was 1 year old when she was finally rescued. She was found on the streets in a heart-wrenching condition. Her name is Miley, and her story will break your heart. Fortunately, she gets a new life and finds out what love and kindness is, and her reaction was worth all the efforts made to keep her alive. Miley was born and raised for dogfighting. Her purpose was to train other dogs in fights, commonly known as a bait dog, but she was no longer useful, so she was thrown out. Only one can imagine the painful life she had as vets discovered traces from tape on her mouth, barbed wire around her neck, and bites from other dogs. Moreover, one back leg was in terrible shape. The poor dog was only 1 year old, a time when a dog barely reaches adulthood, and vets were shocked to see how many marks her weak body had. There were dozens of scars that showed pain and neglect. The animal control officer that found Miley posted a photo of the dog on Facebook, asking for help to fund the local shelter. They couldn't afford to amputate the dog's leg. That's when Amanda Holly saw Miley. They were gonna euthanize her, said Holly, so she didn't think and just commented on that post, saying she'll keep Miley overnight and take her to the vet. Another woman started a fundraiser online to cover the bills. What happened next is amazing. She wouldn't even make eye contact and just kept staring out the side of her crate, said Holly. So she thought of something to make the pup trust her. I went out and bought her a stuffed hedgehog. Miley's reaction was heart-melting. When Holly gave Miley the toy, she looked at me as if it was the greatest kindness ever bestowed on her. After that moment, Miley looked at Holly and even received her meds from her hand, but the pooch had some serious health problems. The money needed for Miley's operation was raised in almost 2 days. The pup also got a foster home after her surgery, and Holly kept in touch. She had no idea that life had even more surprises. Holly didn't intend to adopt Miley as she already had a dog called Ace, but she was willing to help Miley as much as she could. I told her foster if she never ate anything again to call me, and a few months later, Miley's foster had to move. So she called Holly, who was also moved to Baltimore, Maryland from Austin. She immediately took Miley with her. When you meet Miley, she changes you immediately. Holly didn't see Miley since she gave her the hedgehog toy, but the sweet pup remembered her. She wouldn't stop wagging her tail and was so excited to see me again. And Miley got to her new forever home next to this furry brother. Check him out. Ace is Holly's first dog, a rescue found on the streets when he was only a pup. He lived in a shelter for more than 3 years and Holly adopted him. He's shy of dogs, and with Miley he learned to get out of his shell. Despite growing in such a horrible place where she was hurt by dogs and humans, Miley met Holly and regained trust. Now her mother admitted that Miley loves making friends, saying hi to people and dogs on the street every few steps. And that's not all. Miley is Wonder Woman in a dog's body, Holly said. And she's living proof that only love can save the world, added the happy mom of 2. Rambo was a similar case. He was found in the woods on the brink of death. His body was cold and full of injuries, and he was surrounded by animal carcasses. He was also used as a bait dog, and his story's heartbreaking. Rambo was in such a horrible state that he had to have his both hind legs amputated. But he was a special pup and everyone cuddled him, filled his blanket with as many toys as a dog could dream of and more. After his surgery, Rambo was still healing and couldn't yet walk. But he'd grown his own wagon and was regularly walked outside for a fresh breath of air and sun. And when he finally was able to walk, he hit the ground like a hero. Rambo's also received a custom wheelchair to move around easier. Dr. Laura Dvorak that oversees Rambo's recovery said the pooch is trying to get used to it, but he's gonna pick up on it pretty quick. Rambo has a chance to walk without a wheelchair if he gets a few more surgeries and doctors heals his stub with skin grafting techniques. His future is bright. Nothing could have been possible if these people didn't struggle to care and fight for these dogs. And of course, with their sweet and kind nature, these 2 dogs found the will to live and trust people again. It's heartbreaking to see them suffering, but we're happy Miley and Rambo are now healthy and eager to face the world together with their families.